So the curves of the metal,
I definitely think an enchanter had a hand.
those two people could possibly be one person even.
Keeping yourselves busy, I see?
It's a conundrum for the ages.
Bryn. You're back.
You've done amazing work with the resonance modulator.
Thanks. But how do you know it worked?
The loom gate started glowing a strange color before you.
Spoiled the surprise.
I'm sure the Surgeborn will be plenty surprised when they next try.
Suffice to say, we're thrilled, Bryn. In a short, we were, obviously, a little hesitant to trust newcomers.
Our first impression wasn't the best.
But now, we're in a much better situation when it comes to survival.
Happy to have helped. Without you two trusting me, I couldn't have achieved, so thank you for letting me in. I'm glad.
It's been my pleasure.
Likewise.
So, let's recap for a moment. 1, we've stopped Surgeborn from navigating the Loomgate network. 2, we've made huge leaps forward in regaining control over the Arcs. 3, we've armed and supplied the Scouts.
It certainly doesn't cast our last decade of work in a forgiving light, does it?
Listen, you've been surviving this crisis for a long time the only way you knew how. But now you have a path to move forward. Your people can choose to follow it, or dwell on past mistakes. Are we ready to face this threat head-on together?
Yes. You're right, we're at the point, resource-wise, where we can start making moves.
I don't really. Regardless of what he does, you've earned our support, Bryn. But first, I'd actually like to steal Hirun for a while, if you don't mind. I have some notes to go over with her.
By all means, have fun.
I suppose I'll just get right to it. Why do you treat me differently?
What do you mean?
Everyone else gets the stern you, the you who's in charge, the Axel. But I get the friendly face, the compliance, this you who... Is it because of my dad? Because everyone answers to him? I can't handle it, Hirun. I need to know that I'm not just being manipulated by everyone around me.
It's not because of that.
Then... what is it?
I spend time around you because I want to see you, to speak with you, to work alongside you, to see the look in your eyes when you solve a problem. Skies, I shouldn't... None of this is... If we could find somewhere else, beyond the gaze of the whole...
Hirun, take my hand, and we'll go. I didn't see it before, but I think... I would like to tell you.
What's going on?
Arik, why don't you fill her in?
Our plan worked. The Eye is mobilizing the scouts for a large-scale attack on the spawn.
I take it the Axle and the Spindle put him up to this?
Yes. Not that Khan Stanild is admitting that. He claims that with the supply shortage taken care of and the Ark restoration underway, now is the time to strike.
And Bryn is receiving due credit for all her work, I'm sure.
No.
So what's his plan?
The scouts will stage a distraction in the underworks, while the Eye and the Spindle do something to the Grand Gate. That's all I know. The Eye wants everyone to convene at Cassidon's Hold for a speech to learn more.
He wants us there.
Khan Stanild loves an audience. Doesn't matter who's in it.
I thought you'd be happier about all this.
I have reservations about the Eye launching a plan using my scouts without consulting me.
The reality is, the leader of the Enclave has the power and influence we need to take a stand against the Ser, regardless of how likable the man holding the title may be.
Power and influence, sure, but not the expertise.
Ori is right. Whatever flaws the Eye has, he is ultimately doing what we've wanted him to do. If he wants to atone, we should give him that opportunity.
It can't hurt to hear his big speech before...
I'm here to escort you. Talk to me when you're ready.
perfect pair. I've always wanted to build something like this.
Ready to head to Cassidon's Hold?
As ready as I'll ever be.
Great. Hey, while it's just the two of us. I'll be deploying to the Underworks almost immediately after we arrive. Watch Khan Stanold for me, will you? I know Oriel wants you to give him a chance, but he can't be trusted.
I'm always ready for anything, Eric.
I know. Let's move.
Decades of caution have been rewarded, friends. For this moment, and not one sooner, is the precise time to strike. Today, we wrangle our lands free from the Surgeborn's grasp and reclaim our hearth once more. None of this could be possible without the esteemed prowess of the Spindle. Her work on the Arks has laid the... She and I will proceed to the Grand Gate at once. Scouts, you have your orders. It's time. Whatever it takes.
Bryn.
Now?
Yeah, no time to explain. And Aurea, you should get on the scry.
All right. Whatever you need.
Let's go. Sev, I know you said there's no time to explain, but want to give me a clue as to where we're going?
So, obviously I've been working with the Eye. Well, he had me repair the Grand Gate. It's connected to this place called the Source, and, I guess that's where the Surgeborn came from. He's got this plan to go there and solve this problem once and for all.
Right. I heard that part of his speech already. What does this have to do with us sprinting like an Ash-Peak Drake is on our heels?
So there's, it's better if I just... show you.
Perfect. As punctual.
Sev, what's going on?
I didn't...
Oh, don't blame him. He's merely a puppet.
So you...
Of course. Only language could allow me to pray
You've been talking to the Eye?
into a foolhardy and preposterous plan that only an absolute imbecile could think was... I've been down here for years, laying groundwork and learning what I could about your people. All towards a moment when I could convince Kenrick to act. I almost despaired he ever would. And then, along comes you.
Me?
Oh yes. Kenrick is threatened by you. Terrified even. In your brief time inside the Veil, you've accomplished so much more than he has in decades. Still, you are the perfect catalyst for change. We have that in common, as you will discover in time. So now, he's going to open a gate to the heart of the and the one person I worry might be able to stop us. You're first. But even you can't run to the rescue now.
You've thought of everything. Except, why tell me all this?
Because you're too late to stop us. And even if you weren't.
Sure. Unless they were listening.
Quit taunting it, Bryn. You've got work to do.
must retreat!
No! I'm staying to fix this. Do whatever you can to buy me time. Bren is seriously about to fate that thing.
The spindle told her to buy time.
Let's hope Ida doesn't take too long.
For much longer.
She needs to.
A little more time. Almost there.
She can't be. No.
What's she doing to the Ark?
Hopefully not what I thought.
Whatever it takes. Spirits. Okay. Weavers have always dealt with problems like this. Well, not just like this, but yeah. We'll figure it out. Aurea, she'll know what to do.
Hey.
Hey,
How do you feel?
okay now, but it was touch and go for a while. Lane will probably never forgive me.
I knew that fight. The spindle, giving her life like that. It'd be on your mind all night. And I've been mulling over what to tell you this morning. I had a speech planned, but you're like me. It'd ring false. So you did good. It was an awful situation, but you stood up and did what needed to be done without hesitating. Not many people have that kind of grit.
You're right. I think that was what...
You deserve it. You've come so far in here. Look, I know you, Bryn. Any sense of doubt or being shaken is just snow.
That was the part you practiced, right?
Yes. But that...
Okay. Okay. Thoughts on what we do next?
We need to get everyone together. Our band, Arakim too. And I want you...
Me?
Yes. You.
I know everyone's up in their heads right now, but we have real problems to solve. So,
Are you running this discussion, then?
She is.
Sev, this has to... We knew you were working with the Eye. We told you we'd have your back. Just breathe, Sev.
We're sometimes called the Watersmiths. Imagine my surprise to learn our talents had been critical to the construct. Our order binds us to always help another Norian. Especially a high-ranking one.
So that's how he sunk his claws into you.
Why is the Order so secretive?
We've always been critical to the survival of Taza. Water is life in the desert, and we control the flow of water. The Elders have a secret politic. The altruistic Norians will tell you the secrecy is so no one can undo our work. And so, the Order operates in the shadows.
What did Stanild have you doing?
It was all work on repairing the Grand Gate. He'd heard about our success with the gate in the Hollow and felt I might be able to replicate it. Thanks to your help, I was able to do so. And
Did you leave the Norians to become Sola's apprentice?
one never really leaves the Norians. Not with their life. If word got out about me betraying Stanild, I'd be a dead Ram walking. But no. My people have a ritual known as Ram Bralem. It is a time to pursue another path.
It's true. I knew it could be temporary, but...
The most important thing is whether we can trust you.
Yes, Sev. Convince us.
I swear, nothing I did was intended to cause harm. Too many of my order are political animals. Craftspeople who just wish to perfect their art. To bring water to people in need. To experiment, but need the resources to do so. Unfortunately, too many of those resources are controlled by people like the... They're all the same. They see a point of control. Water, information, wealth. And they abuse it. I thought the secrets were a necessary evil for some great purpose, but seeing his chokehold on the Enclave, you all have every right to distrust me. I am sorry.
If you can't be a Norian, then what are you?
If you'd have me, I'd like to stay.
Those of us who have been here longer than Sev. Thoughts?
It's hard to have divided loyalties. But you did the right thing in the end, and if you hadn't, we might all be dead. That takes courage.
Still wasn't quick enough.
I don't know what to make of any of this. I want to believe you, but it's hard.
When I was going through it, you all pulled together to help me.
You are all heard. And I would add that you joined us under false pretenses, Sev.
I have a hard time accepting that he kept so much from us, but shared so much with the Eye. Who knows what Stanild, or gods help us, the Talon heard about us? Only time will tell how much damage that's done.
Lane, I hear you and I understand. Sev has real work to do to rebuild trust. Sev, that considered, you have worked tirelessly since joining us, and demonstrated an enterprising spirit, and before the blade could completely fall, you risked all by blocking it with your own hand. You can never be a Norian again. I do not sense that you wish to be. And who are the Weavers but a group of outcasts and misfits, just trying to muddle through together? You will stay, and you will help. We have work to do. Tell us about Stanild's plan.
Thank you, Horia.
This has been a rough ride for us all. This entire situation is unreasonable. Or would be, for most. But not us. We're Weavers, Sev included, and rolling with the punches is what we do. But here's our challenge. That Talon. It spoke. It knew things it couldn't know about us. We're on the back foot and need to catch up.
Then let me, as Horia said, help. After I repaired the gate, Stanild took me completely into his confidence. He'd been questioning and learning from the Talon. Or so he thought.
Not realizing he was being manipulated.
He was increasingly estranged from his daughter. I'd wager he was desperate.
I'd agree. Based on what he'd learned from the Surgeborn from his friend.
Use my people as a distraction to pull the bulk of the Surgeborn out of the Underworks. All while he used the gate to...
There is a place, deep underground, known as the Source. It's the secret to the Enclave's power. The abundance of magic. The heart of the tapestry. There was only a single loom gate still connected to the Source after Asylum cleared all connections.
The Grand Gate would take him right to the heart of things, then.
Exactly.
Stanild thought he could... what? Sneak down there and fix things somehow? Tear down the veil?
His hope was to go down and secure a working space, sealed off from the distracted Surgeborn. He wanted to eventually fix things with the help of the Spindle.
That arrogant idiot.
He'd read in his personal archives there was a system designed to shut down the Source, in the hopes of discovering how it worked. He had been feeding information to the Spindle about it in drips.
Meaning she might have been working on a fix for the Source without knowing it.
Then we have to pursue her research, clearly.
Good. But we still have the problem Stanild never saw coming. A great Surgeborn.
Which almost certainly will be unkillable if it operates like every other Surgeborn. It's hard to imagine any place more full of tangles than the literal source of the magic that's overflowing.
On that, I have an idea. If I'm right, we might be able to turn the tables and remove it. I'll need Bryn's help if that's all right with everyone.
Of course. If it gives us a chance, we have to take it.
I agree.
Has anyone just thought to ask the Talon?
What would we ask it? Favorite color? Favorite way to disembowel Ashar?
No, she's right. It has clearly demonstrated an interest in Bryn. Maybe she could pry some information out of it.
I'm not sure I'll get much. But I'm also sure I'm not going to think it's my friend. So, worth exploring?
Then we have a path forward. Sev will pursue his thoughts on dealing with that.
My people have started calling it... the...
Of destruction? Doom?
Why not both? As I said.
Fine. Sev pursues weakening this herald. We work with the Axle to look into the Spindle's latest research. And if she feels like it, Bryn has a chat with our imprisoned...
As good a path forward as we are going to find. Let's call it here and get...
Bryn, I examined the wreckage.
Found something useful?
A kinetic strand, in fact. The Ark must have torn it.
Think we could weave it into my mantle?
I don't see why not. Its pattern appears to be quite similar to those found on wild...
All right.
Then let's get to work. And we're finished. This will be cool.
How so?
This strand can twist kinetic magic into a tunnel. In battle, you could push debris or enemies through it and send them flying through the air quite...
Could I jump through it?
I suppose?
Hey, there's a lot of tall buildings, flying creatures. This is
You're right. Just...
I hate to do this when we're already dealing with something like 7 distinct major crises. I've got 2 pieces of bad news. Which one do you want to hear first?
The second one.
Excellent choice. We have a stove problem. We use specially enchanted coals to maximize burn time and minimize weight, and we're dead out of them. And second, the stove itself is dented. Rather
What? How did that happen?
I don't know. I don't do stove maintenance. I'm the logistics girl. Maybe Sev sat on it.
He's still got bum fur, so if he did, it wasn't on.
Regardless, this is a Dam and Sola fix. 1 problem each.
I'm not sure they're in the best place right now.
That's why I'm asking you. They both love you, and can be grown-ups for the good of the group. Oria's already sick of salad.
Hey, mind if we talk somewhere
Lead the way.
I won't be returning to Expedition. I've known for a while now, but I couldn't bring myself to admit it. My days as Point.
I thought you were recovering.
Not as well as I should be. That I got injured at all was a sign that I'm not as fast as I should count myself lucky. Not many Points get a career this long, but I'm not ready for this to end. Especially here. What kind of legacy is it to reach the Enclave only to sit by the fire?
But you've had an incredible career. And it isn't ending just because you can't go on.
I know, but it's not the same. And some part of me was hoping to end on a big score. I thought if I found out who my father was, if he turned out to be some great weaver like my mother, it's silly.
Tell me.
I thought I could solidify my legacy in history. Make sense of what my own contributions have been, if anything at all.
You're an incredible weaver in your own right. You don't need impressive And if you had to pick your last act as Point, isn't finding your way into the Enclave the biggest score? You're everything I want to be.
That's very kind. Maybe in time I'll make peace with what my career has been. But
is there anything I can do?
Unless you can give me a few years back. This is grief I'll need to...
I understand. I wish there was something I could do to help Oria see herself the way I see her. Lane knows a thing or two about recording legacies. Lane, I was wondering if you could help me with something.
What is it?
Well, it turns out Oria's search for her
Crusades into one's lineage rarely are. She didn't find the missing piece of herself that she hoped she would.
Yeah, that kind of sums it up.
It happens. So, what is all...
She knows she needs to retire.
Ah. Isn't it strange how the most accomplished people never seem to...
Yeah. I was hoping you could help with that. After all,
We could certainly commemorate her career with a written account. A lovely idea. I would suggest we personalize it with anecdotes from each of our traveling companions, as they've been in Oria's band longer than you or I. Would you interview them for me? Legacies may be my specialty, but you might have the leg up when it comes.
sure, I can do that. And
Ask whatever you like. Maybe you want a few humorous stories in the mix? Or some readers prefer... Why don't I start by interviewing you?
me?
Of course. We'll need your input. What has Oria meant to you?
Before Oria, I didn't really have much of a mentor when it came to weaving. Sure, I picked up things from my old band, but she takes passing on knowledge so seriously. And her love of our culture comes through.
Great. I'll transcribe that and start her biography. Take notes when you speak to the others and come back to me.
Ah, good.
Yes, we're here.
Anyway, stove's not working. Campfire sucks, but
Yes, please, let's talk about the stove.
How did we run out of coal anyway? I spent 2 days in Varentia working on that.
sure. But then we ended up in the Enclave. So now we need to find more.
I don't easily have the materials to process another batch. But, I hate to admit it, but that was the one really useful thing I took out of my time with the Church of the Hallowed Pyre. They know.
Great! Temple. But what good's coal without a proper place to burn it for cooking?
If we're able to find coal like before, then it'll just be a... I will need a few materials. I'll drop...
Good. Excellent. We're moments away from hot food.
So I'll...
Go team!
Isla sacrificed everything for us.
Still can't believe she's gone.
You know, a lot of points struggle with transitioning into a Watcher's role full, and there's never been a point...
I know.
I'm sure it will. Now, what can I do to help?
What do you think makes Oria...
She listens to her weaver's input when needed, yet remains decisive when a consensus can't be reached. The band I traveled with before fell apart due to disagreements over what our goals should have been. It was a difficult and tumultuous time in my career. I never...
I can relate. Traveling with Oria is a completely different experience.
She has a clear vision for her band, and she chooses people that share her goals. Even when conflict arises, it doesn't last long, and Oria can diffuse it quick. That's because we can all trust that one another's intention. Leading a weaver band is half the battle. Now, picking the weavers?
Thanks for sharing.
Bryn, I love what you're doing for Oria. How can I help?
You've been in the weaver band the longest.
To be a point for as long as Oria has is extremely rare. The knowledge she's acquired at a time, she's always been passionate about recovering, though I think feeling alone in that ambition.
In what way?
Not all weavers are in this for our collective culture the way Oria is. Many of them only seek When Casman didn't work out as her replacement point, she became worried she might never find someone that shared her vision. It meant a lot when she finally found you.
Wow.
Happy to help.
I appreciated your
It was terrifying. You didn't get to voice an opinion with the others. Are we...
Well, I'm not going to pin a medal on you, because Sola says we shouldn't waste them. We're a team.
And
I knew something was wrong the moment that thing started talking to me when it was very focused on you.
me?
So much so that it said the only way the plan... It reeked of trap. I didn't survive a decade around Tars and Norians without picking up when someone...
But you still took me down.
Sorry. An educated risk. I felt there was nothing it could do, and...
And Stanild wouldn't use one, of course.
The Talon was his deepest secret.
Can you tell me more about Stanild's plans for once he went through the Grand Gate?
He was counting on Isla. She was exceptional at protective fields. But even then, the Talon had convinced him he'd be able to survive, and fool that he was, he trusted it. But I have a theory. You know how the weather sometimes skews?
Right. The error.
What else do we see on similar sites? Exactly.
You think the aeroliths are able to affect raw...
I do. And in Stanild's private records and designs.
You think the Norians were involved in their creation?
It would certainly explain why Tarza had such access to aerolith, if I'm right. This might be the key to...
Fewer tangles means less dead me. Absolutely. Where do we...
You'll need to head to the Watersmith area of the Institute. And... I haven't known Aurea for as long as the others. I'd like to help with your project.
Of course, Sev.
What do you want to know?
You said Aurea has done a lot for you.
After everything that's happened, everything I've done, until now, my position in life has to just be accepted, no questions asked by someone like her. She's given me a home.
You'll always have one.
For the first time in my life.
Thanks, Sev.
Glad to be of service.
Your idea to commemorate Aurea's career with Lane is lovely. How can I help?
What is Aurea's most...
It's tough to choose. But I always remember Aurea had heard of a drake a few leagues north of where we made camp. She left on an expedition, hoping to return with a few scales or gone for hours. She came barreling back to camp at nightfall. We ate and drank like royalty for a fortnight with all the riches that Hyde bartered on the Imperium. I don't know which memory is fonder. All of us gathered around the fire, sharing a bottle of aged mead. Or the look on her face when she...
That's perfect.
My pleasure. The spindle sacrificed everything for us. Could have lost Bryn just as quickly as we lost her.
Oh, great. I'll
need to ice my quill hand. Oh, but
let's hope she likes...
She will.
What's going on?
We wanted to present the latest edition to Lane. We all contributed. Though credit goes to Lane for compiling.
I've titled it A True and...
We wanted to do something special. To commemorate...
You didn't have to...
We did.
No one is more deserving of a place in Weaver.
So we took it upon us.
As a thank you.
Lane?
Aurea Silverbeak, as she came to be known, was born to Sharian Harp.
Philosophy.
Though she never knew her father, but Aurea decided to something she would continue to do throughout. We'll let you read.
We hope this account will help you...
I'm at a loss.
Bryn, I was so moved.
Thank you.
But her father, Eugenius...
You do?
Yes. And I want you... I can give you a key swatch.
Wait.
I do. And I'm...
Okay, but...
Trust me. This is something you should show her directly.